It's been 3 months since I started taking hair loss supplements, and I'm going to share my results with you so far. Now, if you missed my first video, I talked about exactly what to look for in hair loss supplements so that they actually work to reduce shedding and encourage new growth. I mentioned a couple of different products and ways you can track your results. I also posted 2 previous updates, one after the first month and another one after the second month. So this is my third and final update using this specific product. The product I took is the Evolve Better Roots pill, and I took it for 3 months. I actually finished taking this a few months ago back in November, but I haven't had a chance to give you an update on what happened, what changed, if it made a difference. So I'm recording this now. I'm recording it based on what I observed back in November. So even though it's been a few months since then, I'm not talking about how my hair is now. I'm talking about how things were in November. If you're new here, I'm Delilah, and I help people with curly hair like you get better at caring for and styling their hair so you can simplify your routine and wear your curls with confidence. Okay, so let's get to my 3-month update. So I'm going to talk about 2 different things. First, shedding, and then new growth. So on the shedding side, I saw no change between month 2 and month 3. So basically, my shedding had been reduced by about 25 hairs per day. So I was seeing around 75 to 100 hairs per day, which is normal. Before I started taking this supplement, I was losing a lot more hair. So it did reduce the amount of shedding that I was having and brought it down to like a normal level of shedding because it was excessive. I mean, it was like 200 a day. And for somebody who doesn't have a lot of hair, that's a lot of hair to lose on a regular basis. So the last 2 times that I showered or washed my hair in November, I kept the little bunches of hair from the shower. So I will show you. I ran out of little Ziploc bags, but this is one of them and this is another one. So this is pretty average. This is what I had been losing before. So here is from September 30th, and you can see, hopefully the glare is not too strong, that it's about the same as the bigger one. So not much of a change there. And if we go back to the beginning, I have all these little dated baggies, so I'm trying to look through. So here's one from July, and this one's pretty big. So if I'm comparing the most recent one, you can see that it is significantly less than it was before, so much smaller. And so I definitely did see a lot of progress in the reduction of shedding. So that's a plus. And even though I am months out from this, like I've stopped taking this supplement back in like October, I still have maintained that level of shedding. So I'm not shedding more than I used to before I started taking this supplement, which is surprising because I thought that as soon as I would stop taking it, my hair would start falling out as much as it was before. But that hasn't been the case. And there's a couple of other factors at play here, so I'm going to talk about those after. But I can't 100% attribute this to this supplement for that reason. So more on that later. Now, as far as new growth, surprise, surprise, none. I never had any new growth the whole time I was taking the supplement. And although I secretly wanted to see some new growth, I knew that this was going to happen because you typically need to take a supplement for 3 to 6 months or longer to see any growth. So 3 months was like the minimum to be taking it. And that's what I did. And I have not still noticed any new growth. So although it did help reduce the shedding, no new growth. I suspect that if I would have taken it more, I mean, I could have seen new growth, but I don't know. I would definitely have had to continue taking it for longer. And I just didn't feel like it. I just didn't feel like it was worth it. I don't know. I stopped taking it and I said, let's see where this goes. And honestly, with the reduced shedding that I'm having, I'm happy. I can't stand taking supplements. And if I don't have to, then I'm not going to add something else for me to do in the day. Now, I also have talked to a lot of other women who have gone through a period of excessive hair loss, whether it's hormonal due to post-pregnancy or thyroid problem that was really common, or high stress or an illness. Like these are all temporary periods of hair loss, meaning that even if you do nothing, your hair will start to grow back at its normal rate. I don't know why my hair started shedding so much. I didn't have any key event or illness that triggered that. My hormones have not been changing. I'm not like menopausal or premenopausal or anything like that. Like everything has been normal. My lab work has been normal, and I do pretty thorough labs because I did have a thyroid problem many years ago, but I haven't since then. I don't take any medications. I don't take any other supplements. So it's still a mystery as to why this happened. But in talking to other women, a lot of them express the fact that a lot of these supplements just kind of help with the shedding and they don't do anything else. However, some other women that did have other reasons for this shedding, and it wasn't necessarily temporary, talked about the things that worked for them. And I asked around about Nutrafol and Viviscal because those are like the two most popular ones, and it was very mixed reviews on that. Now, the hair fuel mask is one that came up with a lot of positive reviews from personal experiences, whether it was a temporary hair loss situation or something that was a little more permanent. So that's something that I'm going to look into. But the common thing among all these women, whether it was temporary or not, when they started taking these supplements, all of them, the ones who had success, definitely didn't see that until around the 6-month mark. So that's something to keep in mind if you are on a similar journey, you're trying to reduce your shedding, regrow your hair. It is a long game. So 3 months is not enough. And that's something that I am learning now as I'm a little bit past 3 months and I decided not to continue. I probably should have continued taking the supplement a little bit longer, but what's done is done. One more thing I want to talk about is scalp buildup and hair growth, because I mentioned in one of my previous videos that I realized I had some scalp buildup. I was having a lot of flaking, itching, and a little bit of buildup on my scalp. I was not clarifying as often as I should have. And that's definitely something that can contribute to hair loss. Like if you've got buildup on your scalp, that's going to prevent new hairs from growing in, and it's going to cause some of your hair to fall out because it's just not a healthy scalp. So I started using Nizoral shampoo once a week, and that has really helped with the itching and the flaking. That is very minimal. I still have flakes, but not like before. It's not itching as much as it used to. Very minimal. I'm also noticing my scalp is cleaner, so I'm having a little less oily roots, more volume overall. My hair doesn't get angry, like my scalp doesn't get angry at me so quickly. I feel like I had to wash my hair every other day before because it was like my scalp was so irritated, but now I'm like back to normal where I could go like 2 or 3 days. So that's something to keep in mind as well. If you are not clarifying properly, or if you've got some sort of scalp problem, that could be contributing to your shedding or preventing you from having new growth. So definitely do get that looked at. And there's so many different reasons you can have scalp buildup. I didn't go to a dermatologist to see like what it was, so I just grabbed the Nizoral shampoo and it happened to work for me. But there are other, like I think it's ketoconazole, which is like an antifungal treatment. So that tells me that there's some fungus thing going on in my scalp, right? But that may not be the case for you. Maybe you could do better with like a salicylic acid or one of these other, like there's a lot of different scalp treatments out there that target different causes. So you do have to try a few different things, or you could go to the dermatologist and get like a sure answer as to what's going on with your scalp, and that definitely can help. So that's it for my 3-month update. No change from month 2 to month 3. However, what did change has stayed over time, so I am happy about that. Now, going forward, here is what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to wait a few months before I try anything else because I am in a higher stress period right now and I've got a lot going on, and I think it's just better for me to wait until things calm down to make sure that I'm not going to hinder some of my progress just based on having too much stress, because we know that stress can cause hair fall. The second thing is I am going to try the hair fuel mask at some point. So in the next few months, I will give it a try. And when I do give it a try, I will document it and I will make these videos kind of telling you like what's happening within a month or 2, or maybe I could do like every 3 months. I'll have to see. You guys let me know in the comments what it is that you want. And the third thing I want to mention, which I kind of touched on earlier, is I also started eating a little differently last year. I started strength training, and so I had to eat more protein. So I upped my protein to 140 grams per day. People have said that that helped them with their hair fall and shedding, and that could be a factor in all this. I didn't even think about it when I started this whole experiment, that I was eating a little bit differently, and I had upped my protein so high. Before that, I was probably eating around 80-90 grams a day, so that's significantly more protein than I was eating before. So that could be what is helping my hair have less shedding. I don't know. That's something that I discovered as I was writing the notes for this video. And I was like, wow, that's a bummer because it's really not a true test of the Evolve product to see. I really didn't want to change anything else so I could tell if this really worked. And unfortunately, I forgot that I had changed my eating habits a few months before I started taking the supplements. So there could be something there, there may not be, but I did want to be transparent and let you all know that. Also, to prevent the comments, because people keep telling me to eat more protein, and I can't eat more protein because I'm already at 140 grams per day. So I'm pretty much maxed out there. Also, I mentioned briefly about how I get lab work done on a regular basis. I go every couple of months because I had a thyroid problem back in 2020 and I had to take some medications temporarily and all that. So they had to monitor my blood work very closely, and it was something that went undetected for a while because the blood work wasn't thorough enough. And so we've learned our lesson, and now I do get pretty thorough blood work done on a regular basis to make sure nothing else is going on. So I know that some people will say, well, oh, the regular lab work won't show anything if you've got like a deficiency or some thyroid problem, but I do have thorough lab work and everything is normal, so it's not any of those things. If you're dealing with hair loss, make sure that you use products that are actually proven to work for shedding and regrowth. I recommend you watch this video next. It's called How to Reduce Shedding and Increase Hair Growth. If you haven't seen it yet, you'll learn exactly which ingredients have been proven to help with hair loss, so you're not wasting your money. Just click the video you see on your screen and I'll see you there.